Hi! Welcome to Create Utopia, in which hosts Chicory and Zero muse over many issues in the style of so many modern millennials, all around the peaceful, flickering light of video games! We hope you enjoy it. Now on with the show.
Womp, womp, womp. All right.
Awesome. So, what are we playing today, Zero?
Today, we are playing Tropico 5, which I have actually not put any time into the sandbox mode of yet. And it should be interesting. What are we talking about?
We are talking about being an ally. It's something that I'm sort of new to thinking about, and I want to just toss some ideas around and see sort of what it's all about. Yeah.
All right, so let's get the game set up first.
Okay, cool.
All right, new game, sandbox, new dynasty.
Are we like bad
What is
guys?
the last name for this dynasty?
Milano. No. Yeah.
Yes, are we good with this?
Is Milano like a trademark name?
I actually have no idea. If it was, it'd be trademarked just for the cookies.
Yeah, so we could use it, right?
Sure.
Okay. Well, anyway, back in. Milano. It sounds so, like, Italian. Milano.
Well, it's probably from Milan.
You think so? Is that our flag down there? The red, yellow, and green?
Yeah,
and blue?
sure. I think that's the flag of Tropico.
Okay. This is the one where you, like, plant gardens over people's houses, right?
Maybe. Not people's shacks after I build them nice houses.
Okay,
Jeez.
it's just an encouragement to, like, you know.
It's an encouragement to move to the better house. Gender.
Female. Not Abigail.
Oh god, the names. This game has a terrible name sorting system. Calypso.
Agatha.
Suggest a name to me.
I like Agatha because that's like my bunny's name.
Agatha Buncraft?
No. Agabun Christie, but we call her Agatha.
Alright, so, skill.
Altruist sounds good.
Oh wait, we're going for ally, right?
Yeah.
Well, this is the start of your dynasty, so let's think hard.
Okay. Dynasty. So yeah, being an ally, maybe an administrator?
I'm just gonna flip through all of them quick, like kind of slowly.
Agitator. Keep going. I like altruist. Let's do altruist.
Okay. Race.
I don't know, it's Tropico, so maybe it's like supposed to be based off of the Caribbean, right? Or Southeast
Yeah,
Asia.
but I mean, you're a dictator stuck in by another group, so you can do whatever race you want.
So then definitely Caucasian.
Face. Can you see the face?
Yeah, I can see the face. I can't see the face. Wait, nothing changed. Tried face 3. Nothing's changing. I don't know.
They're changing. I can see them change on my end.
Well, does she still have like long blonde hair?
Yes, because that's not part of your face.
The mirror clapped and she did not clap. That's a little scary.
Here's face 1, 2,
Oh, I see.
3.
She like looked down.
I
Got a
know.
mustache? Look up. Eyes up here.
No, she's just frowning and sad.
As she should be, being like a terrible person.
And
Anyway.
there's 4.
It's really disconcerting that her mirror is doing things that she's not doing. Especially with like the star symbol at the top. Okay, anyway,
Which
that's
face do
fine.
you want?
Face one. Let's go.
Costume.
Ah, casual. 70s, army. Okay. Colonial. We are colonizing. It's still so creepy. Steampunk? I like steampunk.
Let's
Let's
go
go with
steampunk
devil.
then. Or devil?
Yeah, just out and out devil. Secret Agent is also good. Schoolgirl, no. Beach, no. Devil. Go back to devil.
Devil it is. What's your favorite color?
Secret, blue. That blue. Light ocean blue. Ah.
What
What's
is
your
this even
favorite color?
changing? Oh, horns. Gray.
Okay, let's do gray as the back color.
Is there a gray?
There's like... There was one. Coconut white. White is kind of a gray. Well, it's like a cream, I guess. Dark brown, light brown.
Yeah, it's like a white.
It's cream. Cold black.
Warm black is, I think,
warm black or
cold
cold
black.
Cold black.
All right, I assume that you want to switch the hairstyles.
Yeah, that's good. Justin Bieber.
Is that casual? I don't know what Justin Bieber's hair looks like.
That one.
Okay. Hair color.
Purple?
I think that was
maybe
a purple.
Red. Like if there's
Violet?
a bright red. Violet. Yeah, violet.
There's also a red.
Violet.
And then there's the ginger. Violet it is.
Violet.
Do you want a hat?
No, I feel like that takes away from the horns. Although Fez is pretty good.
The Fez with horns? Ah, I got rid of our Bieber.
Also, just blonde with the horns is awesome, too. Okay, accessory.
Hold on, I have to find the hair again, because I don't remember what it is. And accessory is like glasses.
I like that one. Wait, aviators. No,
right,
Geordie
ready?
LaForge. Geordie LaForge. There we go. Or Cyclops,
Okay.
I guess, if you want to be that way. Good. Perfect.
You've begun a dynasty. Our goal is to get allies. We're going to start in the modern era, because that's when the most allies are.
Okay. Everybody just wants to be everybody's friend, right?
Well, that's what we're going to aim for.
Except for some countries
Sure.
which don't care about
and we have
polluting.
no real goal outside of get allies.
Okay. Do we want to still instate we being a green island?
That's up to you. Do you want to be a green island?
Yeah, let's be a green island.
You are El Presidente, Chicory.
Yeah, green island, good stuff.
Cool. Ready?
Do it right the first time. Yeah, good.
All right, and what are we talking about? Allies?
Allies, being
Where
a
do you
good
want to
ally.
start?
Do you think that just becoming aware of your privilege is like setting you up to become an ally?
Oh,
like,
no,
how are
not at
allies
all.
born?
Oh, okay, so...
That's a starting place, okay? We're starting. We'll get to this in just a second.
How are allies born is our starting place, huh?
I think it's different for every person, I guess. Maybe that's not about...
Yes, I would say that is 100% true. Oh, man. I guess it would depend on like what cause you're allying with.
Can you cause like ally yourself with more than one cause? I thought you could.
You can, but you still are going to have slightly different paths to get to them.
I guess that's true.
I'm not saying you can't be an ally to multiple causes. I'm saying the way you become the ally might be different for each cause.
Oh, I see. Okay, that's like a little bit of a variation on that.
Do you want a secular state or an atheist state? Because I'm pretty sure you wouldn't want theocracy.
No, not a second. Let's do atheist state. Yeah. Great. Okay, so what... And this is like a personal question, right? Like, I think everybody's going to have a different answer for all of these things, but we're just kind of talking about them. What is a good ally? Like, what makes a good ally? Because there's, like, some things that I've noticed that are sort of like a through streak, like listening, doing research on whatever you're being an ally to sort of are good starting places, but I don't know.
So I would say that to be a good ally, probably the most important thing you need is a willingness not to make the cause about you, but to make it about the cause. And to understand that as an ally, you don't necessarily... You are less likely... Did you see Selma?
No.
All right, well, first of all...
Sorry, there was True Detective and HBO and Game of Thrones and stuff. Only so many hours. Excuses, Zero. Excuses. Horrible lying excuses.
Selma had its own weaknesses, but it was still a good film.
Okay, I'll watch it.
But what I will say, without shaming you too much, is that in Selma there are characters who are allies.
Yeah.
And who are, like, they show up despite being white people
Yeah.
to assist Martin Luther King Jr. in his march because they feel that there is an injustice going on.
And an injustice somewhere is an injustice everywhere? That's our phrase, right? Or your phrase.
That's Martin Luther King Jr.'s phrase. It's not my phrase. An injustice to anyone is an injustice to everyone.
Yeah, and they like agreed with him.
Yes, and so they showed up to help him, and one of them is beaten to death in the film, and many white people were also beaten to death during the civil rights protests for being like race traitors.
Mm-hmm. Which is bad.
And this is, well,
like being
yes.
beaten to death is bad.
Yes. So when you're an ally, you have to be prepared for that you are going to run into your own styles of hatred, I guess is the best way to put it. Some people on one, not everyone in the cause is going to like you. And you have to be prepared for that. And you have to not let it get you down but you have to be willing to listen to criticism. So you can't just say, I have plenty of black friends and I'm an ally of black people. Therefore, when you tell me I'm not helping you, I'm just going to ignore you.
Yeah.
So that is the sort of like thing that you have to be aware of right from the bat. Just because you are an ally does not mean the people you are an ally to are going to appreciate it, and that shouldn't be the reason you're doing it.
Like, don't do something for brownie points.
Yep. You shouldn't be in this in order to be applauded as the Great White Hope.
Okay, fair.
Well, I mean, that's a hard thing for a lot of people. A lot of people, like, there's a lot of, when you look at the conversations, like, on the women's movement right now, there's a lot of guys who complain because I was for women's equality, but then all these feminists didn't seem to appreciate what I was doing for them.
It's like the nice guy complex, right? I was nice to this person, and now they, like, owe me something.
Therefore, I deserve sex.
Yeah.
Yeah, it comes from a similar place.
It's like, it's
essentially
sort of selfish, maybe? Like, you're making it, yeah, like, exactly what you said. They're making it about them, and they're expecting, like, applause, or people to be like, look at this guy, he sure is swell, or she sure is swell, or this person sure is swell. And everybody's like, whoa, you're less of an asshole now. Way to go. Right?
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know. Maybe that's just my feeling sometimes. You know? I don't know.
I don't think you're wrong, necessarily. People want... We've talked about tribalism before, right?
Yeah, we have a couple times.
And people in tribes want to be appreciated for what they bring to the tribe.
Yeah.
The thing about being an ally is that an ally is exactly, I mean, it's exactly like what we're saying. By being an ally, you are part of a different tribe who has dedicated yourself to helping out, say, a tribe that in some cases maybe you're historically opposed to, or maybe often you aren't personally opposed to, but maybe other members of your tribe are hurting.
Could you give me like an example
And that's
of
granted
that? Like,
extreme.
I'm lost in that example.
If you were a person who lived in the South during the pre-Civil War era who helped slaves escape, you as a white person in the South were still benefiting from slavery.
Yeah.
And you could still be helping slaves escape. But that doesn't automatically mean that you were not benefiting from slavery. And it doesn't automatically mean that every black person you meet should appreciate you.
That's true.
You needed, if you were doing it, we're already getting invites for embassies.
Yay!
If you were inviting people to join, if you were saving people and rescuing people, you shouldn't have been doing it to gain yourself cred in like the slave community. You would have been doing it for whatever your reasons were, but you were still being an ally, even if nobody knew what you were doing. The best kind of being an ally is the kind of being an ally where you are making a difference, but you are not like necessarily being praised for it all the time. That's a really good point,
Zero. That, you know, it's like...
Right. And that's the hardest kind, too.
Whatever you're being an ally, whatever drove you to become an ally, should not be, like, your gain. You know, it's supposed to be sort of, like, about them. About whoever you're helping. So I had a question for after that. I guess like there's so many like different ways to be an ally. Like what is the minimum buy-in to being an ally? Or what is the maximum buy-in to being an ally? Does that make sense?
Oh, buy-in? I mean, that is a weird question.
To help the people that like you want to be an ally with. Like, is there action required?
Well, I would say yes, there's a certain amount of action required to help people. Again, it will depend on what you're being allied for, but you need to, like, if you are an ally, you need to look at, I guess, to link back to your question about privilege. If you acknowledge that you have a certain level of privilege and you want to be an ally, then I would say the first step is seeing what is that privilege getting you, and can you use that in order to become an ally? Because maybe as a rich white lady, you have more influence in a certain area, and by speaking up, you can bring more info to people. Like, say, and this is really unfortunate, say that some people are going to listen to me more when I complain about something than they will listen to you.
Like me, Chicory?
Because, yes, like you, Chicory, if I, as a male, want to be an ally to you.
Yeah.
And let's say I want to bring up something that was an issue. Like, something about people who were oppressed in an area, the women's pay gap. And I wanted to say something about that, and I wanted to say, I think this is ridiculous. Like, I know lots of women who work just as hard as men do. Why do they get paid less for doing the same jobs? And I'm talking with a guy who says, well, statistics say that really women have these like different jobs that they're particularly well suited for, and they usually gravitate to those, and those are the ones that they actually get paid for, and those jobs just naturally pay less. And I'd be like, so what? Can men not, like, it's my job then to look that guy in the face and say, not say, oh, that makes sense, but to say, are you saying that women can't handle the other kinds of jobs, or that those jobs are less important? Because I, for one, would like my nurses to get paid as much as tech executives, quite honestly. Nurses do a pretty important job. Why do they get paid less than somebody who's in the tech industry?
And why can't dudes be nurses too?
Right, and why is it when dudes are nurses, they get paid less than female nurses?
That's not good.
Yeah, but it happens, and that is also a form of gender discrimination. Like, that's what keeps women locked into these jobs as well, is because then men don't want to take them.
Yeah. Like, not only is it quote-unquote, like, girl's job, it's also it's not a fair job.
Yeah. So that's the sort of thing that... So one of your jobs as an ally, I would say unequivocally, is to be informed. You need to understand what the issues are. But at the same time, when you get informed, don't immediately think that you are more of an expert than the people you are an ally to. If I'm an ally to trans people and I'm having a discussion about trans rights, and a trans person I know says, well, I mean, that's wrong, that's not my experience, it is my responsibility to listen to that person and understand what their experience is. It is not my job to say, well, your experience is atypical based on the stuff I've heard from these people, because that is just as bad.
Isn't that, this week you showed me some of these bingo cards that I had never seen before, and there's one that's called Derailment Bingo, and I think that's actually one of the slots is like, let me tell you about your culture, or let me tell you your experience is not representative of everyone.
Yes.
And it's like, ooh.
But my experience is representative of me, and as a person who fits into this group, I think it's pretty important.
Yeah. I think that's one of those things that, like, however much you want to support this group, you're still not part of that group. Does that make, like, the tribalism thing again? You're helping this other tribe, but you're not part of it, so you're never gonna be able to say those things. Does that make sense?
Yes, you can't understand the subtle pressures this group is always under. Like, I, as a male in our current society, am never going to understand what it is like to be constantly worried about my period showing up at an awkward time. There's no chance of me having to actually worry about that. I can empathize with it and maybe even sympathize and be like, yes, that does sound very awkward and uncomfortable, but I'm never going to really understand it.
Well, and you should mention that, like,
can't.
not every girl has to worry about that, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
So did you just hit the deflection bingo?
Did I? I don't know. I just wanted to, like, be inclusive of...
No, that's fair.
Other groups that might not get their periods all the time. I don't know. Anyway.
I'm teasing you. I picked an example, and if you have a better example, you should totally use it because you are the one who grew up female in this conversation. There may be a better example.
No, that's a pretty good one. That, or like just the constant, I don't know if guys go through this, but like the constant being judged for like what you're wearing. I don't know.
They do, but differently, I think. Yeah. Guys certainly go through that, but it's... Well, I mean, guys go through that. I'll just say it that way. Fair. Guys get judged by other guys for what they're wearing all the time.
But do you get... I guess girls also judge guys for what they're wearing, but I don't know if it's like in the same way. You don't... If a dude shows up without like a shirt on and like he's hot, or if he's like, you know, ripped, then girls are like, yeah. But it's not the same sort of leering, predatory, maybe it is, of like a guy seeing a girl in like a bikini or like a girl in a short skirt. I don't know. It's hard to come up with examples of these. I think that year one with the period was really
I'm not
good
sure
one.
Where you're going with that, but I guess I see what you're saying. So
yeah. Okay, well anyway. But yeah, so you don't get like all of the small things. You know what I mean? Like if a cop pulls me over, I'm not worried about dying. I'm worried about getting a ticket or getting out of a ticket.
Oh, that's fair. I hadn't actually considered that one. Yeah, you are probably... When a cop pulls you over for, say, speeding, you are probably more concerned with, is there a way I can get out of this ticket, than how do I not get shot during this encounter?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Because I've definitely had moments where getting pulled over, I had to stop and think for a moment, like, how can I get out of this without seeming overly threatening? Were you in the car when your husband got pulled over and was told there were two big guys in the back seat?
Yeah, that's one of my, I think, remember that much, much differently than maybe you do, because like the cop was kind of like young, and he was, the last half of him dealing with us was teasing my husband for having all of these extra papers that like he didn't need to have. And I just remember him being like, don't need this, don't need this, don't need this, this is like 7 years old, it's like totally expired, don't need that, blah blah blah. But the first part of it was he like walks up to my husband's car, which is a Geo Metro. That's the car my husband drove when I met him, and was like,
because your husband is a baller.
And the cop's like, did you know you have, or no, he doesn't even say that. He just says, you have two large men in the back seat. And Zero goes, what? Where? And everybody laughs.
Yep.
Because...
And we're all okay.
And everything
that would have been,
okay.
I mean, there's no guarantee that would have been a very different situation if it's just me alone in the car. But
Or like... Sorry.
The deflection to make yourself seem non-threatening is a very minority thing. And women do it too. Like, this is something when I'm talking to partners and female friends, the deflection to seem non-threatening is such a minority thing in this country. Whether that minority is women or like black people or even Asian people, you want to make yourself seem less threatening when put in one of those situations. And people who don't get in trouble, and being an ally is to make yourself more threatening. Because every time an ally does something, if you as an ally step up and say, yeah, I'm out here protesting, you are removing the excuse from every person who says, well, I have black friends, so I don't need to be out there protesting right now. Like, we've talked about the comfort thing where people prefer to be comfortable. You are removing their comfortable excuse when you are an ally.
I guess I hadn't
And that's
thought
hard
about
for
that.
people to handle. People don't like having their comfortable excuses removed.
Yeah, I hate it. Why do you
There's
keep
nothing
doing
worse
it,
than a good
Zero?
example. Well, you know, it's how I roll.
Yeah, it is. I was gonna say, like, think of how different it would have been if it was like you and the other big guy in the car at the time, and then with me in the back seat. Like, it would have, like, if you had been the one driving, it would have maybe been very different.
Yeah,
You know?
possibly.
I don't know.
I will say you know what?
What?
Some cops I've had interactions with have been great, and some have really not been great. Generally, I seem to have more trouble in the job area than I do in the like police area. Although I've certainly had problems in the police area, and the police don't need me to make excuses for them. The police are not a Gestalt entity, no matter how much they want to be. Some police are great. Some police are terrible.
What does Gestalt mean? Like all together, like uniform?
Like a mushed up group.
Okay. Gestalt.
That's a rough description.
Okay. Cops, man. I've had pretty good things, like encounters with cops. But then again, I don't deal with cops a whole lot. You know? They don't pull me over.
Yeah.
But then also, I hate speeding. Oh, one too many car accidents. Okay, that is the highest rate of me dealing with cops is after I've been in a car accident.
At which time you want to see a nice, comforting authority figure.
Kind of, yeah. Kind of, because they know how to do all the paperwork.
There we go.
You know? Anyway.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
So, I guess, like, getting back on the allies thought, what are some mistakes that people make when they want to consider themselves an ally? So, I guess we've sort of covered them by saying what a good ally should do. So, all of the opposite of that, like, don't do research, don't listen to, like, the people of the group that you want to be an ally of.
Well, I'd say there's multiple types of mistakes you can make as an ally, right? Like, there's innocent mistakes where you make the mistake because you don't understand that this is bad. Mm-hmm. And then there's I don't want to call them over-enthusiastic mistakes. Maybe
You don't want to say the asshole mistakes?
No, over-enthusiastic.
Oh.
Although they would often be asshole mistakes.
I was going to say, no, do that.
There is a level of mistake where, say you meet a trans person and you're trying to be a trans ally and you keep misgendering them.
Ooh.
And then you have a choice where when they call you out on it, you can either say, I'm sorry, or you can say, I'm trying, cut me some slack. And the right answer is to say, I'm sorry. But
Yeah.
inside, you're probably going to want to, like, if this happens often enough, say, I'm trying and it's hard, cut me some slack. And while I understand the impulse and have been there, this person has a harder life than you do, at least in this particular case, and you're making that life more difficult in that moment. And you need to recognize that. Like, this is the selfish, let's say the selfish and narcissistic ones, where you're suddenly realizing how hard it can be to be an ally.
Yeah.
And as a result, you wish that the people who you are struggling for, quote unquote, would appreciate your alliedness more.
Yeah, I think like the narcissistic concept of those kinds of mistakes would be the best descriptor of that. Because that's also what sends you into all of the defensiveness and the deflection and the, you know, like...
No, go on. This sounds like it's going to go to a good place.
I was going to say, all of the mistakes that I make regularly. Because you want to think of yourself as like a good person. And when someone... And you feel like you're working on that. And then somebody's like, no, you're not working very hard. Or, I don't care. It's like the worst. And then you're like, no, this is important to who I am. And they're like, great. It's who I am. You know? Does that make sense?
Yes. Well, yes, it makes sense to me. I know how terrible of a person you are.
I am. I'm so bad. Anyway, but yeah, just looking at the bingo cards, I just see so many that is so common. Like, so common from people who want to consider themselves an ally to this group. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, if you weren't so hostile, people would listen to you. Can't you see? I'm just trying to help you to communicate better with other people.
Yep, because you don't understand how to communicate, or else you wouldn't be an angry minority.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Or, you're as bad as we are, as if that makes a difference. I don't know, I could just, like, read all of these.
You probably should. We'll post them in the bucket.
Yeah, one more, though, okay? Or two more.
Sure.
No, ugh! Stereotypes exist because there is truth in them. Ugh.
We've said that on the cast before, and I think it's really important to note that while that statement is true, it's a terrible thing to say when you're dealing with an individual.
Yeah. I think that it's like, well, it's like an easy thing to do, you know what I mean? I think it's also a close cousin to the other one, or which is that it's like, you know, saying that, like, this is just a joke. Like, I find this funny.
Yeah,
why
don't women have a sense of humor? Like, I tell all these rape jokes and they never laugh.
Yeah.
My guy friends think they're hilarious.
Well, it's a little different when you actually have to worry about being raped all the time. Or when you're told to worry about being raped all the time. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, it's just the worst. And then to, like, see them printed out and be like, oh, I have heard people say this and not called them out on it, or I've said this myself. It's just not... It's like seeing the dark reflection.
Ooh,
I don't know.
Yeah.
And so...
The dark reflection.
Oh,
I liked your phrasing there. Like, I really do. Into a mirror darkly, I stare at bingo cards.
Yeah. Look at the bingo cards. They're funny and funny sad. Mostly funny sad.
Well, they were certainly an eye-opener for you.
They were an eye-opener for me.
It's your question about privilege. Sometimes you having your eyes opened does not mean immediately you are going to become less privileged or become an ally. But but people need that, to use a very loose term. People often need that come to Jesus moment where they sit down and they look and they're like, "Oh man, have I been acting this way?" And then something like the bingo cards can be that.
Yeah. But then you have to, like, you know, own up to it. Like, some people, I think, will just be like, yeah, but it's not so bad as that. Or, yeah, but it's different with me. Yeah, but I don't mean it. And my friends know that I don't mean it. Or,
and that is that's right there. You nailed the insipidness of I have lots of black friends. Yeah, but my black friends know when I'm joking.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean it doesn't, like, hurt. I don't know.
Well, it also means that, so what? Do they speak for the entire race?
No,
I don't know your black friends. I don't care what they laugh at. That's not funny.
I put this question out there to some of my friends, and I think that's... And also, you brought it up also, which is that if you're an ally, if you want to consider yourself an ally, you have to know that, like, the whole group is not just your friends. It's not just, you know... It's a group made up of individuals. You know what I mean? Well, you can't stereotype the group that you want to be an ally to.
And for example, like, a group of women together who all call each other bitch, and maybe let a guy who's in on that, like, say that there is this, like, it's a group of 12 women and their gay male friend, and they all call each other bitch all the time. That guy probably doesn't go around calling every single woman he meets bitch. He might. I don't know him. But it seems unlikely that that happens.
Okay, so those are some mistakes that allies can make. But I guess, like, is there any kind of graceful way for allies to recover from them? Or do they just basically have to be like, well, you're right, I was wrong. How can I learn from this? I have to do more research, blah, blah, blah.
Well, that is the graceful way to recover from it. The graceful way to recover from it is to say, you're right, I'm wrong, I'm sorry, help me improve. And be accepting if when you say, help me improve, they say, absolutely not, I'm too upset with you to talk with you right now.
Yeah.
Because I believe on one of those bingo cards is it's your job to help me learn. It's not their job to help you learn.
No, it's your job to help you learn.
In my experience, most people you're being an ally to do want are happy to help educate you if you seem earnest and like you actually want to learn, but not all of them. Some of them are upset, and they have every right to be upset. They are legitimately oppressed.
Yeah. I gotta come back to this, like, legitimately oppressed thing, but I had another thought, and now I've fucking forgotten. I don't know. What was it? Chicory, come back.
Something about millennials being a postmodern generation?
No. Nice try, though.
I'm here to help?
No. Oh, it was from people recovering from mistakes, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I think it was... No, I wanted to say that, like, if you're part of one oppressed group, doesn't mean that you are okay with or in, like, the same tribe as all of, like, any other oppressed group.
Oh, man, that's the complicated case of, say, bisexuality in the LGBT movement, or the... Well, now that the B is in there,
trans.
but for a long time, like, bisexuality wasn't considered to be a thing, even by people in the gay rights movement.
Yeah.
Like, if you liked men and women, a lot of lesbians or gay males would disown you as just not really helping the cause, especially if you ended up liking both and quote-unquote picked a side that was not the gay side.
Yeah.
And that's its own complicated thing. But there's also the sense of, rebels. But there's also the sense...
Kill them! Wipe out the rebels!
That we're on it.
Okay, sorry.
I hope we're on it. Yeah, we should be okay. We should... There's also the sense of the women's rights movement telling minority women that their struggle has to wait until the quote-unquote bigger struggle is done.
What? Like, I've heard that, but I've always thought that it's bullshit. Like, there is a bigger struggle. Like, how can one struggle be more important to somebody than another struggle? I don't know.
Well, I mean, one struggle can be more important to another than another struggle. That's not that
So,
hard.
like,
The question is,
person,
how do you pick?
Like, see, like, whoever you are individually, I guess, but yeah, it's about, like, I don't know. Maybe you did. I don't know where I was going with this. I guess I don't see, like, why they should have to pick, as though, like, they're not... Someone can't belong to more than one group.
Well, the problem is not even that someone can't belong to more than one group. It's that, like, one of the groups has decided that the struggle for this part of the group is more important than the struggle for another part of the group.
Yeah.
The struggle for women's rights is more important than the struggle for minority rights, for example. Which is very marginalizing if you happen to be a minority.
Yeah. Yeah, way to go.
You seem very enthusiastic.
Well, I'm like... I don't want to say this. I guess I just... Maybe I haven't done enough research into it, but it's like, I don't agree with the practice of saying that. Or I think, like, another one is that it's like trans women. Some radical feminists don't want trans women to, like, have any part of feminism because it's not the, like, sex or whatever they were assigned at birth, the gender that they were assigned at birth. And so
they had insufficient... And the sentiment, I don't necessarily agree with it. That isn't... I would say I'm an ally to that struggle, which means that I should refrain from commenting on the internal politics of that struggle. Which maybe that's a good thing to talk about. Like, if you're an ally to a struggle, you might want to, like, keep your mouth shut on the internal politics. You can feel free to comment on it. I'm kind of I'm a tangential ally to both of those struggles.
Like,
so
trans and feminism?
Overly...
Or yeah,
like, commenting on them a lot seems odd. I mean, it's certainly a choice I could make. I don't know that I want to make it.
I think that that's something that is interesting to me about, like, being an ally, is, like, what you can or what you should and should not open your mouth about. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I guess I don't know where all of, like,
here's where it is for me.
The lines are drawn.
I do not have the female experience, either as a trans woman or as
a cis woman,
a non-trans woman, a cis woman.
There you go.
Neither as a cis woman nor as a trans woman do I have the female experience in the United States. Therefore, I cannot
or anywhere
weigh in
else,
on
not
either
just in
side
the United
effectively.
States. You could go to
Okay,
Africa,
you're right.
and I think that statement would still be true.
I could go to Africa and still have no clue as to the female experience. So that is a fair statement. 100% true. So if you want my help standing up for some sort of right issue, like if you, Chicory, or if Rose, or if any of the other women I knew
Or no.
wanted my assistance, new or no, currently, I would be happy to help them out. Am I going to comment on whether one group has more claim to the female struggle in the United States? No. That, aside from just seeming like a recipe for disaster, what would I even say? I agree with this side
I don't know.
because oppression?
I guess that's like what I'm saying is about like the being a person of color versus being a woman. Like, I'm not a person of color. I want to be like an ally, and so I'm also a feminist and a woman, mostly. Generally, I'm a woman, and so I don't like agree with the people that are saying that minority women should have to choose between minority rights and feminist rights. Like, they should go hand in hand. But I don't know.
And you are absolutely free to involve yourself as deeply in that fight as possible. If you ask for my help there, I'm not going to comment. I do not have the knowledge. Not only do I not have the knowledge for that, there's no real way for me to acquire that knowledge.
Yeah.
Like, there are some things that you have no knowledge on, like law, like the First Amendment.
Mm-hmm.
You can look up a body of case law on the First Amendment.
Yeah.
And then be like, oh, that makes sense. I understand this much better now.
Okay.
I can't do that on the female experience in America outside of reading articles other people wrote. And if I use only those articles other people wrote as like, here is my experience, I'm then saying, and all you think alike, right?
It's actually something that's really funny about being an anthropologist, because sort of like doing ethnographies it's not that, but it has been really close to that in the past. An ethnography is basically going and living with a culture for more than a year, usually like 2 or 3 years, and then being like, this is my experience living in this culture, this is what I have learned about this culture, blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. And so it's a tool that like anthropologists use, but I think that it just totally has its limits. And that's one of the things that was on one of the bingo cards, which was, let me tell you about your culture. And it's just like a trap that you can fall into if it's like, yeah, you do all of this research and like you might live with this culture for a really long time, but it's still not like your culture. And maybe you can make some comments on it, but you're not going to be like the final word on it. That's my 2 cents. That's immediately what I thought of when I saw one of those, the bingo card.
Yeah, that makes sense. You shouldn't assume that everyone in the group's experiences are exactly the same, which means that then you have to assume that there might be some difference in experiences, which means then you can't just use everyone's experiences